Good morning, Vande Matram, welcome all of you. We are going to have a brief discussion on Sri Aurobindo's teachings and religion. So, everywhere we have got the talk over the topic religion. So, religion, we almost everywhere we discuss, we keep discussing and we will be discussing. But thing is that the time of religion is over. But still now we have not reached the peak of the religious discussion. So we are in between, we are just meddling over here and there. This religion is a big question before us. Sri Aurobindo quotes beautifully that religion sat on a blood-stained throne. Religion sat on a blood-stained throne. Still now, till today, we can find there are bitter coups, bitter battle, fierce struggle, and fierce hatred between the people belonging to different religions. So here we'll see some other here in the course this creeds, sects and creeds. This religion organize the living organize the living death. So this is the scenario we can find blood-stained throne. Of course, here in the course, religion has saved a number of souls, but yet to universalize the mankind. And Sri Aurobindo's very bitterest and closest observation on religion, Sri Aurobindo quotes, the religion that is not universal can't be eternal. Universal it can never be, because we have got number of sects, number of creeds, a number of customs. So it can touch, it can't never touch the entire universe, the entire being. That we know, we are almost conscious of. Still then, we feel there was a big question put to the mother on Sri Aurobindo. So many people say that a teaching of Sri Aurobindo is a new religion. Would you say that it is also a religion? That question was put because in ordinary consciousness till now people are unable to know, unable to understand what really this religion is. After the religion comes this spiritualism, and the spiritualization and later supramentalization is a daydream, is also an unknown concept for them, not unremembered. Actually they don't know, unknown, unseen, this type of concept in their memory they carry forward. They don't know what really is the religion, and how to go for to step into the spiritualism and later supramentalization. So mother tries to explain on that question. People who say that are fools, who don't have even know what they are talking about. Mother quotes, they are simply fools. This is a nonsense talk because they don't know the border. They can't differentiate between this religion and the spiritualism. They only have to read all the Sri Aurobindo what he has written to know. And it is impossible to base a religion on his works. Mother quotes, it is impossible to base a religion on his works because ordinarily, commonly, people don't read Sri Aurobindo. If they are reading truly, consciously, very minutely, and very clearly Sri Aurobindo, they can have this type of observation. Because his presence, he presents each problem. That's what you have to realize, you have to recognize. Here, Sri Aurobindo has presented each problem, each question in all its aspects, each problem, each question in all its aspects, showing the truth, actually, content in each way of seeing things. What are the contents there? Sri Aurobindo has clearly indicated, clearly shown the contents in that great set, what is there inside. So Sri Aurobindo has clearly indicated, and he explains that in order to attain the truth, you must realize the synthesis. In order to attain the truth, you must realize the synthesis which goes beyond all mental notions, all beyond mental notions. Within mind, within the mental confines, you will never know the truth that is prevailing And that is the problem, because we are almost confined to this surface mind. We confuse in most of the time, and that is actually the problem with us, and emerge into a transcendence beyond the thought. So don't stay confined to your thought. Thought is a mental procedure, and this thought, of course, it has emerged from the ordinary or surface mental consciousness. So you have to go beyond, you have to overcome, you have to rise over, you have to get elevated from the mental phenomenon, mental thought, mental surface thought. Again, mother quotes, I repeat, mother quotes, I repeat that when we speak of Sri Aurobindo, there can be no question of teaching, nor even of revelation, but the action from the Supreme. Already we have known that the mother has given a bright message on Sri Aurobindo in most of the relics, pans you can see on the relics. It has been written after this, the first one. Normally we read what has been written in Pondicherry, also in Sri Aurobindo's, that the term samadhi you have seen. To thee who hast been the material envelope of our master, to thee our infinite gratitude before thee, who hast done so much for us, who hast worked, struggled, suffered, hoped, endured so much. Before thee, who hast willed all, attempted all, prepared, achieved all for us. Before thee, we bow down and implore that we may never forget, even for a moment, all we owe to thee. So later, on this basing on the second, normally what we usually find, what Sri Aurobindo represents in the world's history is not a teaching, nor even a revelation. It is a decisive action direct from the Supreme. So that also here Mother has repeated. I repeat, Mother quotes, that when we speak of Sri Aurobindo, there can be no question of teaching, not a teaching, nor a revelation, even of a revelation, but an action from the Supreme, decisive action direct from the Supreme. No religion can be found on that. That's what Sri Mother has clarified, ca- categorically clarified. No religion can be founded on that. But the men are so foolish, Mother quotes. The men are so foolish. Second time in this clarification, Mother uses the word fool. From the in the very first sentence, they are fools, and here also. But men are so foolish that they can change everything into a religion. Whatever you see, you can find there is a religion. Religion. One one TV interviewer, he was coming for the interview on Sri Aurobindo, because we had to present a program on Sri Aurobindo, and he had a bright interview with the organizers. And when we keep repeating the word spiritualism and spiritualism and spiritualism, he just repeats from his own view, that is religion and religion and religion, because he is unable to differentiate between the religion and the spiritualism. This is his lacuna. So, mother quotes, so foolish, men are so foolish that they can change anything into a religion. So great in their need of a fixed framework for their narrow thought. Thought is narrow, already we have quoted narrow thought confines and a limited action. Within this limited action and a narrow thought, they can't understand something very high. So at best, they have reached the idea of religion, not even even if it is not fully. They don't feel secure unless they have asserted to be true, and that is not. But such is the assertion becomes impossible for anyone who have read and understood Sri Aurobindo, who have read and understood. That's what in Mother, otherwise Mother has explained. Who can understand Sri Aurobindo? He is as vast as the universe, his teachings are limitless. And what has been written by Sri Aurobindo, who can read and understand? Unless otherwise you read, someone reads and understands Sri Aurobindo, he can't judge, he can't simply analyze, or he can simply make his view. So, religion and yoga, religion and yoga don't belong to the same plane of being of the and the spiritual life. Categorically, Mother tries to explain, and it is a big explanation from Mother. Religion and yoga don't belong to the same plane of being and the spiritual life. can exist in all its purity only when it is free from the mental dogma. As long as you are in the mental dogma, it will be impossible almost for you to go beyond and think and differentiate between religion and spiritualism. Another term was coming before us, yoga and religion. Then a question was put to the mother, what is the difference between yoga and religion? Mother explains, as if you are asking me the difference between dog and a cat. Mother quotes, as if you are asking me about the difference between dog and a cat as yoga and religion. So, mother tries, after a little silence, mother tries to explain. Imagine someone who, in some way or other, has heard of something like the divine, or has a personal feeling that something of this kind exists. Divine or something like this exists. He just has a imagination, imagines, and begins to make all sort of efforts of will, of discipline, effort of concentration, all sort of efforts to find the divine. So just he has heard something or some sort of divine that is existing. With this mental hearing or mental will, he is making all efforts of will. Second, effort of discipline, effort of concentration, and finally number four, effort of to find the divine. And finally you can find later you can find to discover what he is, to become acquainted with him and unite with him. That's what we simply, with this idea, with this knowledge, he is trying to explore all these things, all sort of, to make all sort of efforts. I'll put it again. Effort of will, number one. Effort of discipline, two. Third is your effort to of concentration. Fourth, all sorts of effort to find the divine. And number five, to discover what he is. Number six, to become acquainted with him. And finally, unite with him. Just imagine this is the scenario. So, just with having just because he has had something. Now, if this person has noted down all the processes he has used, mother comes to the point, and from far to near. So, if this person has noted down all the processes he has used and constructs a fixed system, the two things, possesses what he has used and constructs a fixed system, and sets up all that he has discovered as absolute laws. For example, he says divine is like this. To find the divine, you must do this. To make a particular gesture, to take this attitude, perform this ceremony, and you must admit that this is the truth. You must say. So then he is saying, I accept that this is truth and I fully adhere to it. And your method is only to the right one, the only one which exists. That is a good explanation. Suppose man has a person has used this constructs a fixed system and sets up or discovered some absolute laws. For example, mother quotes, he says divine is like this. Second, to find the divine, you must do this. Third, to make this particular gesture. And fourth, to take this attitude. Five, perform this ceremony. And finally, you must admit to this, and you must say, then you will say, I accept that this is the truth and I fully adhere to it. This is the truth and I fully adhere to it. And your method is the only right one and the only one which exists. If all that is written down, organized, arranged with fixed laws and ceremonies, it becomes a religion. You have to do, this is the truth, you have to do, it is the way, you have to go this way. If these feelings are there, then finally mother quotes, and this is type of comment is also there. You can find in all the aspects this type of comments on there. So naturally mother quotes, this is the religion. Nothing big you can think of, nothing more elevation can be performed by you. accomplished by you. So you must know what really the religion is, and like this, with this concept, you are staying, and you must differentiate yourself from the process of really spiritual method, spiritual tracks, spiritual procedure that must be understood. So while reading Mother and Sri Aurobindo, you must be very much conscious that he has pointed, he has explained every point, on every point, every equation, every line, every thought, every circumstance, and every explanation is clearly visible to us. So with this explanation, nobody can claim if he has read and understood really. Condition is that he has read a tool truly and understood properly, then he will never come back with such comment that Sri Aurobindo has created a new religion. Because we know the religion is completely after morality. Religion has its base. So just almost people, even who are having the higher consciousness, they are just hanging between morality and this spiritualism. In between, they are moving till the spiritual life is a very rarely found. Maybe it is found with people with you, but the thing is that normal people, normal mankind is totally unaware of. So we must know what really religion and what is the difference between the religion and spiritualism. All at least we have to go through. We have to understand. We must focus upon the clarifications as clarified by Mother and Sri Aurobindo. That will be very helpful because it is not the religious teaching at all. It is totally spiritual. And Sri Aurobindo has quoted, nobody can have the supramental realization unless otherwise he is having the spiritual. So you have to go beyond the common outlook. Then comes your morality. After comes this religion. Religion, after religion, you have to come into the arena field of spiritualism, which will have the greater impact on you, and it will guide you towards the spiritual, towards the supramental realization. Okay, now time to stop here. Bande Mataram.